Welcome back to Guns and Coffee, where we have gun talk. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more gun talk, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up. So today I have this 300 Blackout I built a while back, and I figured I will do some dress up to it. Gonna do some upgraded parts, and put it in this. I'll show you. It's all from Strike Industry, but they are blue, bright blue parts that I will be installing and see if I like it or not. So, alright, let's get started. Let's set this stuff off to the side. And we'll start with the lower components first, and then go ahead and do the upper after that. So we are empty. Nothing in the chamber. There. Alright. I'm gonna take leave the upper aside for a minute, and then we'll go ahead and start with the lower. So what we're gonna do first is we'll place the magazine catch or magazine release. A few things we'll be using. I'm not going to use a vise, I'm just going to use this thing to do some of these parts. But first, we're going to have to take this magazine release off. So what we're going to have to do is push this in and we'll spin it. And I'm using a punch. I'll cover it with this rag so it doesn't scratch it. And just gonna use that to push it down. And then gonna unscrew this. It is spring loaded, so once you take it off, slowly take it out. So here you go. And again, this is from Strike Industry. So there we have it. Put the spring down in there first, and then the mag release. Actually, what we're going to do is take this side, stick it down in there. Let's see if we can get this screw started. And then when we can't anymore, push this down and start screwing. And then we'll use this again to screw it down even farther. There we have it. Check to see if it works. Locks into place. Mag release. Yep. Good to go. So there's that. Next, what we'll be doing is installing the trigger guard. So, in order to take the old trigger guard out, this one had a hex screw on the one side, and then it had the pins, the takedown pins, on the other. So, actually, what we're going to do first, I'm going to punch that out first. Be careful doing this because you don't want to snap this piece. So here's that pin. Set that off to the side, and then we'll finish unscrewing. Alright, so here's the new trigger guard. It's got a deeper, what do they call this? A magazine reload assist. So I'll go on like that. So we're only going to use 3 of the screws because I don't have a hole on this side, which shouldn't be a problem. And then they give you blue Loctite, but there's already some on here already. What we're going to do, just hand tighten it down first. Get all the screws in. And then we'll tighten it down. Alright, so now I'm going to tighten everything down. go. See, it's a little bit longer. That's that mag assist. Save those for my next build. So next we'll do the tic-tom pins. So the longer one is the front one, and this weird cutout shaped one, and this is going to be the rear. So in order to take this out, you'll see there is a little hole right there. And if you take a punch, a small punch, or Allen wrench or something, you'll see there's see that little detent right there. Stick it in the hole. Camera's not focusing right, but you can see that move. So what you want to do is be careful, because it is spring loaded, so you don't want it shooting out on you. So you're going to push that in and then slowly push out, and then just put your fingers over this so it doesn't fly out anywhere. And there you have the detent. And then the spring's still in there. You can just leave that in there. Then you're going to take the new one, give it a little bit of lube right there. Put the detent in first, like so, and then carefully push this down and slide it in this hole, like so. Hear that? So it clicked on that little rail right here. Now, there you go. So the rear one, I'll take this. So the rear one, there is a spring right here, behind here, and the detent rides on here. So we're gonna have to take the buffer tube out and all this. So first, put the buffer tube spring in a little bit, push this retainer down, get the spring out of the way. Then find my casket screw here. Alright. Unscrew the castle nut and then slowly release. see the spring? Alright, so next we're going to take the buffer tube out, but before you do, make sure put your finger over this buffer tube retainer so it doesn't go flying out on you. Just carefully unscrew it. And you have the retainer and the spring. You could take the spring out as well. And then you can unscrew the buffer tube. And then take the castle nut off, because we'll be replacing this buffer tube as well. And then we got the rear takedown pin. If it doesn't come out, then you could kind of shake it down a little bit, get that detent moved over a little bit. But if you see, you can see where the detent is. So push this in, get the spring, slide that back in, and you can see it lock into place. And what we're going to do is also get the buffer tube. Here's the new one versus the old. It is pretty blue. Screw the castle nut on first. Make sure it is the right way the notches are. You want the bigger notches to go this way. And then make sure you have the right way as well. You want to have this little bubble going towards here. So what you're doing, I'm going to take the spring out for a second. We're going to start screwing this in. So as we get closer to where we're supposed to be at, I don't know if you can see. Right there. I'm going to back it out a little bit. Put the buffer tube spring and retainer in. Push this down, and there's a little lip that you want to make sure that it goes under. So use this, push that in. There we go. Locks into place. Then what we'll do is you could slide this spring in this hole here. make sure it's straight, and just push down as you screw the castle nut back down. Make sure there's no gaps. Tighten this down. Make sure the takedown pin works. And put this buffer tube spring back in. Like so. Alright, so next we'll be doing the selector switch. So it looks like you could do these levers on both sides, or you could put this on and not have one on the other side. So I'll go ahead and put them two on. So first we have to take this grip off. I don't know if you guys have a flathead screwdriver or hex or whatever it may be. So unscrew. And you want to make sure you slowly pull this apart. What you'll see is, see the spring? This will be on the right hand side. There's the spring, and then your detent is there. And this should slide right out. Make sure the hammer is cocked back, because so if you pull the trigger, see how part of the trigger is in the way? So make sure the hammer is down. That way you won't have any interference. Here's that detent. So what we're going to do here is slide this in this way. I guess we could screw the one side on. There we go, that's the right one. Slide this through, and then we'll put the detent back in and the grip as well. get started. Screw this down all the way. Okay, there we go, nice and tight. Go ahead and put this side on as well. Make sure both sides are tight. And then do it on either side. Leave it like that for now. We may change it out later. I'll put this cap back on. So, I think that is it for the lower. So, see all the bright blue pieces on this. Mixed feelings if I like it or not. It's not as bad, I guess, when it's like that. Alright, so on to the upper. So, what we'll do first is we'll do the forward assist. Again, I'm not going to use there we go. That's right in there. So I'm not going to use any jig to hold this down or anything, but we'll go ahead and take this punch, and you see there's a, so here's the detent, or not the detent, this is the forward assist, and then you'll see the roll pin. What I want to do is get your punch in there, start punching it out. And when you do, push down on this as well. And it should come out. So note how it's, so you want to have, there's that little notch. I don't know if you can see. There we go. That little notch wants to face the barrel. Here's the roll pin. Go ahead and take this stuff out as well. Get the new forward assist. So again, want to make note, you see these little ribs. Whenever this forward assist, when you push it in, it hooks on these little ribs to push it forward. So you want to make sure that not the flat side, but that little notched out side is facing this. That way it could catch. So what we're going to do is flip this upside down. That way we could put this roll pin from the bottom. And again, since we flipped it, that little notch is going to face the barrel, so it'll be the opposite way. What you want to do, push in there, and then get the rope in. Gonna push that in as we're driving this in. There you go. Nice and flush. Roll pin is in there. Detent does work. The forward assist does work. We'll test it out here. There we go. So that's your little test. Alright. Works good. And here's the charging handle as well. So this one has the extended little extended piece, so it makes it easier. Alright, so next we're going to do the dust cover. So for the dust cover, what I would do, I like to put some tape over this area right here. So as you're pushing this bar out, there's a potential of it rubbing on this and right underneath this area where the forward assist is. So I'm just going to, I don't know where my masking tape is, so I'm just going to use this black tape to protect this area, like so. So this is going to be the tricky part. I would recommend some tweezers. This one came with the punch kit that I got. Got it from Amazon and it was relatively cheap. So here is the tricky part. So if you look, there's a little C-clamp right there. I don't know if you can see it, folks. So first, what you want to do is spin this. Be nice to have some needle noses as well. So you'll spin it to where the C-clamp is facing, so the opening is at the top. Again, it's kind of hard to see right there. But let me see if I can. Yeah, I'm not helping. But make sure the opening of the C-clamp is at the top. And then make sure you put your fingers right here so it doesn't go flying off. So what you want to do is put your tweezers on the opening and push down. So what I would recommend, see how it's pointing, and you want to push down. Doesn't take a lot of effort to do. And then kind of slide it. There you go. There's the little C-clamp. So I had that little opening like so, and I took my tweezers and held it open like this and just pushed it down, popped it out. So there's that. Now for this rod. This is where your needle noses will come in handy. So kind of pull on this. Let's see how it's riding on this side right here. So if you care about your finish, I would recommend putting some tape on there. Yeah, make sure the spring doesn't go flying out. Had my thumb on there, but I guess it wasn't enough. There we go. Alright, so here's your spring, here's your cover, here's the rod. If you are going to put it, another one that, well, I'll show you here what I mean. So this one, actually doesn't need a rod because it is spring loaded on the one end. So all you do, stick it in there, push this down, and it'll pop in. I don't know why all of them aren't like this, because it makes your life a hell of a lot easier, but for some odd reason they decided to do all of this. So personally, this is an easy route. If you're going to be replacing the cover with some other one similar to this style, there is a little notch on the rod right here. You can see it's kind of hard to see, I guess. There is a little notch right there where the C-clamp goes in. So you want to make sure that that goes in first when you push it all the way through. That way you can put the C-clamp on that. I'll have another video on how to put it back on. But as far as this goes, the easiest thing. So it comes with these little rubber pieces. You stick them on the back right here, and that's to protect your finish right here. And literally there's this little one side of the spring, this little side. You want to flip this up and let it rest. You stick this in here. See if I can do this. Maybe use the tweezers. There we go. Okay, so hold it with your finger, slide this in on the one side. Push the detent in. There you go. So you want this little spring to just rest right there. So it's resting on top like so. It wants to flip down, but as long as you have everything in, it'll just rest there. Let's see. Now that works. Again, I don't know why they don't do that for all the ARs or 300 Blackouts or the style. That's personally a real pain to do and deal with the C-clamps, and if you don't hold finger over it, you can lose it. It's such a small piece. Anyways, so there's that. Stick this back in there. Put carrier in there. Shoot a little bit of oil in here. A little bit on the outside as well. There we go. A little better. Stick your bolt carrier in there. There you have it. Got your dust cover. Still works. All right. So there we have it. A lot of blue on this. I have mixed feelings. But anyways, little dress up. Figure that I'll have at least one gun that's kind of dressed up with different colors, since most of mine are all black, or yeah, pretty much black. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more gun talk. So please leave your questions and comments below. Until next time.